Hey guys, Ben here, and welcome to the first video in the new news series for Seed of Andromeda. In this series, I'm going to be talking about recent developments in Seed of Andromeda, what's going on in the community, talking about things like new team members, and just anything about plans for the future and things like that, just general news. So let's go ahead and take a look at our to-do list. First thing I want to talk about today is the new guys on the team. They are Andreas Ressl and Georg Hammerschmid. They are both artists out of Austria, just completely random that they're both from Austria. I guess there's a lot of underutilized artists there. But anyways, George is going to be mainly doing textures that are realistic in nature, sort of like what Scuttles is doing. He actually has a really similar art style to Scuttles, and he's been doing a really great job. He's actually been pumping out some really great quality textures that you're going to be able to see in the next update. His forum name is Zombie Hunter. You may have seen him do contributions before. That's how we actually picked him up, is because he was just doing such a great job with all his contributions. He's also been helping out designing new blocks and ores and helping find a bunch of bugs. We've also got Andreas Ressl. He's our 3D artist. This guy's got some talent for 3D modeling with voxels. He uses, I think, is it Cubicle Constructor? Take a look at this stuff. So we've got some models here. I'll show you more models later. But for instance, here's his male player model concept. He does a really good job with the shading and stuff, as you can see. It's really good proportions and things. This is going to allow us to have the voxel damage that we wanted, and it's going to look pretty realistic. When we actually put these in the game, it's going to be a little harder to animate them, but we're going to have a skeletal animation system, so it's all going to look really good. And we'll probably end up making a separate program to model the insides of the players so that we can have the realistic damage. And then here's the female model. But we can come back to this stuff. Let's minimize that. What is next on the to-do list? Twitter. Okay, so we have a new official Seed of Andromeda Twitter. Let me go ahead and pull up twitter.com. There we go. So the new Twitter is actually not run by me. It's run by basically the entire team. We all have access to it. Right now, the person who's in charge of it, his name is Patrick, also known as RPAC, if you've seen him on the IRC. He's possibly going to be a community manager for us in the future. So, we'll just see how he does with this, and I think he's going to do a really great job. So you be sure to follow this Twitter account. He's going to be talking about things that are going on. We'll probably retweet each other and stuff. And we've already got 42 followers. Awesome. So, yeah, general announcements will probably be here. This is going to be your go-to Twitter account, this one and mine, whichever one you want to follow. Actually, follow both. Next, the forums and the company names. That's right. So we have the forums that you guys are probably familiar with. Just go to the main website, go to community forums, and it'll log you in there. Eventually, there we go. And once you go down to this, general discussion, if you go in there, there is a thread called We Need a Company Name. Go ahead and come on this thread, make sure you join the forums, and then post your suggestions for a company name. We're going to read through them all, we're going to pick our favorite ones. If we can't decide on a name between some of our favorites, we'll probably put up a poll for it so you guys can vote on it. We do need a company name because we are growing into an actual studio, and we don't actually have a company. We're just a bunch of guys working on this, and it'd be good to actually make this official so we can, start worrying about funding and things like that, and just make it all official. It's pretty important for it to be official. Okay, what's going on in development? This is just basically what I'm coding right now. Right now I'm working on fixing a bunch of bugs. It's much more stable. You guys are going to get a lot of crash fixes. That's basically what I've been working on recently. It's been my main priority because it just really pains me when I see people making YouTube videos of the game and it crashes for them. Luckily, one of the major bugs we've had was like a multi-threading bug, and that has been fixed thanks to my friend Scott Hooper. He pointed out that one of the libraries I was using had a multi-threaded version and a non-multi-threaded version, and I was using the non-multi-threaded version when I should have been using the other one. So now that that's fixed, I've been fixing a bunch of other bugs. George has been pointing out a bunch of bugs. A lot of people in the IRC and the forums have been pointing out bugs. I've been trying to fix as many of those as I can. We also have a new texture pack system, and I'm not going to give away too much because the video this Thursday that's announcing the build will show you guys all the new cool stuff. I also should mention that Andreas, our 3D artist, is also a pretty good texture artist too, and he's making a 32 by 32 texture pack resolution little thing. It's probably more some of y'all's style. We noticed a lot of you guys said that you didn't like the look of the high resolution textures, so we now have a lower resolution pack included with the game by default. And of course, There's going to be a really easy way to share your texture packs on the forums. That's another reason you should go up on there, is to see all the texture packs. And it'll just be really easy to pop them in your game. You can even rescale the resolution. But again, I don't want to give too much away. All right, so 5 or 6 models. I'll go ahead and look at some of the other models, and we'll look at these in detail so you guys can actually give your opinions on it. So here's the female model. I think it looks pretty good personally. It's pretty good proportions like the male model. He did a really good job with the shading and things, as you can see. We actually have ideas for using a smoothing algorithm like either marching cubes or most likely dual contouring to actually smooth the voxels of the player models. I'm not sure how good it would look because I've never seen it done before on an actual player model, but it might give us a more smooth appearance that still gives us a volumetric model that we can damage and blow bits off of and stuff. As far as this model goes, this is all just sort of a concept, but it's probably going to be the direction we go in. Post your comments on it, of course. You'll be able to change the hairstyle, the face, all that stuff. This will all be definitely changeable in game. We'll go back to the male model so you can see all views of that. He spent a lot of time on these, I think. Like he's doing a really, really great job. I'm very happy to have both him and Georg on the team. A lot of talent coming out of Austria, obviously. But as you can see, the shading is really good. This guy actually has like muscles. If you look, you can see freaking a six-pack just because of the shading. It's all really, really cool stuff. He actually did start working on a model core here. This is like him without the skin. But I think we're actually going to make a program specifically for designing the insides. Because right now, having to strip apart your models layer by layer and put the bone and the skin and the organs and all that is going to be just a huge pain. So we need an actual model editor that lets you insert internal structures into the player very easily so that people can actually mod in creatures without going through a huge hassle. Alright, so what else do we got? Let's look through all the other models. I'll try not to make this video too long. No, don't save. Let's see, you've seen a lot of these. By contrast, here's the one Sebastian made, if you guys forgot. So you guys can comment on whether you like this one better or not. Sebastian's has no shading on it, which is why it probably doesn't look as good to you guys. But just take into account that we can shade this. So just look at the dimensions of the model. Sebastian did do a great job with this, and he is also a really good modeler. They've both been doing a lot of stuff. I'm sure you've seen some of Sebastian's other models, like his creature models. Those are where he really excels. Like, let's see, boar spider. Look at this thing. It looks like something out of Half-Life. It's really, really cool. I think I've showed these in another video. But alright, so let's see what else we got. Don't save. I didn't even do anything. Ooh, okay. Let's look at the ingots. Take a look at these ingot models. They're very, very detailed. You can see the voxel resolution for them is pretty high for something so small. So we'll probably scale them down in game. We'll see what happens. We're probably going to be having actual 3D models for a lot of the items in games. And sort of like in Skyrim where you can drop items and put them in your house and things like that, I want that to be something you can do in this game. I am, as you can see by my desktop, I am a big fan of Skyrim, and like I really want to have some of the functionality that Skyrim has as far as, being able to customize your house, what am I doing, and things like that in the game. It just all depends, because this is a voxel game, it is a different sort of game, but I think we can do pretty much all this stuff. I'm not very good at cubicle constructor, in case you haven't noticed. I don't do the modeling. All right, don't save. What else do we have? Tools. These are really cool. Take a look at the shading on these. Let me double click on one. Yep. These look really, really neat. The shading is really what sets these apart. So what we're probably going to do is have these be of solid material properties. Like we'll have this all be iron, but you'll be able to shade the iron to different colors. This will all be wood. You can shade the wood to different colors. You won't have just wood blocks that are a single color. You'll be able to actually change a color value to make them look good. So that we can have our items that have realistic properties. For instance, calculating the weight based on how many iron voxels they have. And then, applying that to the statistics of the weapon. Don't save. My voice is getting hoarse and I don't have any water, but that's okay. Ooh, these are cool. Okay. Weapons. Look at this. So his style of weaponry, or his weapon design style, has been to design a bunch of small components that all fit together into different weapons. Now, all of these weapons are made just from these components. So this is probably what you're going to start with when you crash land on the Seed of Andromeda, just a simple shooter like this. You probably have 1 or 2 magazines, so you need to conserve your ammunition. When you run out, you can't just make more bullets because you don't have a 3D printer, you don't have a forge, you don't have anything like that. So, when you start out, you're going to really need to be careful. But as you progress, you'll be able to, once you finally have a forge, you'll be able to build all these upgrades, or maybe when you're salvaging things from crashed ships, you'll be able to find all these parts, or possibly even partially damaged weapons and things, and then you can configure them in all these different ways to get all these cool looking weapons. I mean, you can make a sniper rifle out of these parts, you've got these cool assault rifles with scopes and all this stuff. It looks really cool. And haven't seen this one yet, this is new to me, but it looks really cool, whatever it is. Some kind of particle accelerator or railgun. Actually, yeah, it looks like some kind of railgun. It's really cool. Man, I love his model designs. Let's see, what else do we have? Open. Don't save. We have a bunch more weapons that are really cool. Molecular weapons. These are awesome. This is like some kind of plasma weapon style thing. It's the same thing. You just take these different assorted parts and combine them into one final model. Is this the same one as before? I think it is. But yeah, take a look at this stuff. This one is probably a higher tech weapon than the one we saw in the previous model list. This is probably going to be something that is a much higher tier for actual developing, because you're going to need, you know, some kind of nuclear core or something crazy to get this kind of technology. But this will be able to take out the big bad creatures and pierce through the strong armor. Open, don't save. And finally we have, what was it? Particle? Is that the one I didn't see? Ah, yes, Particle 1. This is another really cool one. This looks kind of like an alien weapon. These are pretty cool. They have like tubes and stuff. It's more like more steampunky, I guess. I guess that's probably not the word, but same thing. Different parts all combined together. We want to actually also make it so you can design your own parts in game. Not sure if that will happen, but man, it would be really cool for you to be able to actually design your own tools. Like go to your forge, sit down, craft a unique sword, and then sell it to other players or things like that. You could literally role play a blacksmith because you're literally using your own skills to make these weapons. And I think that would be really cool for the game. That's something Matthew brought up, and it's something we've been talking about, and we'll see what happens. That's going to be a goal. It'll probably come, we'll probably start tinkering with that sometime after scripting. But remember, all of these models are concepts because we don't have a model loader. I'm probably going to add the model loader sooner than I originally anticipated, simply because these are so cool and I really want to see them in the game, even if they don't necessarily function like we want. But there's a lot of other stuff I need to do first. We can't rush everything. The engine is not quite ready for gameplay. Okay, I think that's a lot of stuff. Leather bag. I liked the leather bag. Let's pull that up. Look, a leather bag you can wear on your back and carry your things. Or maybe you can color it pink and it's your purse. You know, whatever you want to do. I think it looks pretty cool. Anyways, that's probably enough for models. I'm burning a lot of time on this. Okay, models. Number 7. Multiplayer greater than Mac. Okay, I'm not saying Macs suck. That's not what this is saying. What I'm saying is I think we should work on multiplayer before Mac. I know before I've said I want to do Mac support first. But looking at our analytics on our website and looking at the kind of people who've been watching our game, the overwhelming majority is Windows. There are Mac users, and we are going to support Mac. Guaranteed that. But the question is when we're going to support Mac, not if. And it's easier for us to develop Mac support later on than sooner, because then we're going to be having to manage 2 separate builds of the game when we're still working on, you know, the basic system. So I think what we're going to do is hold off on Mac for a while just to make things simple. That could change, but I think that's the plan. You guys can comment on that. But you know, things like multiplayer and you know, more bug fixes, more functionality, the scripting, the world editor, which is coming soon. I don't want to push the world editor out too quickly. Because it's not ready yet. I don't want to give you guys a half-finished world editor. It needs to be done. It needs to have all the functionality I want, or at least most of it. It doesn't quite look like my vision, how I envision it yet, and I want that to happen. It's going to be really cool. We're going to have lots of really cool planets pumping out. I know it whenever it's done. People have already been making planets without even using the world editor, which surprises me, but people are awesome. So let's get rid of that, and I guess that's it. There will be more of these news updates, probably just in between update videos, sort of like this one. So just keep watching, and I guess I'll catch you guys next time.